Have you ever wondered if the supplements you take every day could be quietly harming you over time? Many people reach for vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium, believing they are safe and essential for their health. But what if taking them for years, even at what seems like normal doses, could slowly create hidden problems in your body? Today, we're going to dig deep into the science behind these popular supplements, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to use them safely, or whether they might be doing more harm than good. Stick around because the information you're about to hear could change the way you think about your daily vitamins forever. Vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium are often grouped together in supplement routines. Vitamin D3 is known as the sunshine vitamin because it's naturally produced when sunlight hits your skin. It plays a crucial role in calcium absorption, immune support, and even mood regulation. Vitamin K2, which is less commonly discussed, has a very specific but critical job. It directs calcium to your bones and teeth while keeping it out of soft tissues like your arteries. Magnesium, sometimes called the master mineral, participates in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. It helps muscles contract and relax, supports nerve function, and even assists in converting vitamin D3 into its active form so your body can use it effectively. Because of these roles, many people think taking these three supplements together is automatically a safe and healthy choice. After all, D3 helps your body absorb calcium, K2 guides that calcium where it's needed, and magnesium ensures everything functions properly. It sounds perfect in theory, and for many people, when taken correctly, it is beneficial. But the truth is, even these essential nutrients can become dangerous when doses are too high or when one is taken without the proper balance with the others. Long-term supplementation without monitoring blood levels can quietly lead to issues that aren't obvious at first. Excess vitamin D3, for instance, can raise calcium levels in the blood, putting stress on your kidneys and even causing kidney stones. Too much magnesium can lead to diarrhea, nausea, and heart rhythm problems, while a lack of K2, or taking D3 without enough K2, might contribute to calcium building up in your arteries instead of your bones. These are not just theoretical risks. They have been observed in multiple peer-reviewed studies and case reports. The problem is that most people don't check their blood levels before taking these supplements. They don't know the exact amount of vitamin D3 they need or whether their magnesium levels are already sufficient. Many rely on over-the-counter products and general dosing guidelines, which are designed for the average person, not for individual needs. And while supplementation can be life-changing for people who are deficient, unnecessary, or excessive, long-term use could quietly increase health risks over time. By watching this video until the end, you'll gain a clear understanding of how D3, K2, and magnesium work together, the safe dosage ranges supported by research, signs of toxicity, and how to use these supplements without putting your body at risk. You'll also learn who should be extra careful and how simple checks and adjustments can make a huge difference to your long-term health. In short, this isn't just a discussion about vitamins. It's about protecting your body from hidden harm while still getting the benefits you're looking for. So if you've been taking these supplements daily or are thinking about starting, keep watching. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make D3, K2, and magnesium work for you safely and avoid the subtle dangers that most people never even realize exist. Understanding exactly what vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium do in your body is the key to knowing why their long-term use matters so much. Each of these nutrients has a unique role, and when they are out of balance, even slightly, the effects can be subtle but serious. Let's start with vitamin D3, often called the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D3 is essential for more than just strong bones. It regulates calcium absorption, which means it helps your body pull calcium from the food you eat and transport it where it's needed most. It also influences immune function, helping your body defend against infections and inflammation. Beyond that, studies have shown that adequate vitamin D3 levels can support mood regulation, and some research even links it to better cardiovascular and metabolic health. However, D3 is fat-soluble, meaning your body stores it for long periods. That storage is helpful when used correctly, but it also means that taking too much over time can quietly build up to harmful levels in the bloodstream. Vitamin K2 is often overlooked, but it plays a critical role that complements vitamin D3. While D3 ensures calcium is absorbed, K2 makes sure it goes to the right places, mainly your bones and teeth, and prevents it from depositing in soft tissues like arteries and kidneys. This is crucial because calcium buildup in soft tissues can lead to serious health issues, including arterial stiffness and cardiovascular disease. K2 works by activating proteins that guide calcium safely into the skeleton. Research consistently shows that without adequate K2, taking D3 alone could increase the risk of calcium misplacement despite improving bone density. This is why the combination of D3 and K2 is often recommended by nutrition experts and researchers alike. Magnesium, the master mineral, is just as important, yet it is frequently deficient in modern diets. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. One of its key functions is converting vitamin D3 into its active form, which your body can actually use. Without sufficient magnesium, even if you take the right dose of D3, it may not work effectively. Magnesium also supports muscle and nerve function, helps regulate blood pressure, and contributes to proper heart rhythm. Its calming effect on the nervous system can even improve sleep quality. Low magnesium is linked to fatigue, muscle cramps, and in severe cases, irregular heartbeat or anxiety disorders. The synergy between these three nutrients is remarkable when taken in proper balance. D3 increases calcium absorption, K2 directs calcium into bones, and magnesium ensures D3 is activated so that your body can use it efficiently. When all three are aligned, you can see improvements in bone density, cardiovascular health, muscle function, and overall well-being. But this balance is delicate. Taking one in excess while neglecting the others can disrupt this system. Too much D3 without sufficient K2 can push calcium into arteries rather than bones. Too much magnesium without monitoring kidney function can cause dangerous imbalances. These are not hypothetical risks. They are supported by multiple peer-reviewed studies and clinical observations. It's also important to recognize that individual factors make a big difference. Age, kidney function, pre-existing conditions, and even medications can influence how safe long-term supplementation is. For example, older adults may need slightly higher D3, but they also often have reduced kidney function, which can increase the risk of calcium buildup. People taking blood thinners need to be cautious with K2 as it affects clotting pathways. Even diet matters. A person consuming a lot of fortified foods or calcium-rich foods may need less supplementation than someone with a restrictive diet. This is why a personalized approach is essential. While these supplements are powerful, their effects accumulate slowly over time. The body often shows subtle signs of imbalance before major health issues appear. Fatigue, digestive problems, mild muscle weakness, or irregular heartbeats may seem unrelated, but they can be linked to long-term supplement imbalance. Research emphasizes monitoring blood levels of vitamin D, magnesium, and calcium to prevent toxicity or deficiency. Regular lab tests allow for adjustments that keep supplementation both safe and effective. Taking these nutrients from natural sources can also support long-term safety. Sunlight exposure provides vitamin D3, fermented foods and leafy greens supply K2, and nuts, seeds, and whole grains give magnesium. Combining supplements with dietary sources ensures your body receives nutrients in a way that mimics natural intake, which reduces the risk of excessive accumulation. In summary, understanding the specific functions of D3, K2, and magnesium and how they interact is the foundation for safe long-term use. These nutrients are not just random additions to your daily routine. They are powerful agents that affect bone health, heart health, muscle function, and overall metabolic balance. When used correctly, they offer substantial benefits, but misuse or imbalance can silently cause problems over time. The next step is knowing how to determine the right doses and how to monitor your body to enjoy the benefits without risk. When we look at vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium together, it becomes clear that their interaction is what makes them both powerful and potentially risky if not balanced correctly. These three nutrients do not work in isolation. Each one influences how the others function in your body. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption in your gut, but without K2, that calcium can end up in soft tissues instead of your bones. Magnesium is essential because it activates vitamin D3, allowing it to regulate calcium properly. Think of it as a carefully coordinated system. D3 is the messenger that tells your body to absorb calcium. K2 is the traffic controller that ensures it reaches the right destination. And magnesium is the energy that allows the system to function efficiently. When all three are in balance, your bones get stronger, your muscles perform better, and your cardiovascular system benefits. Research shows that imbalance between these nutrients can lead to subtle but serious health problems over time. For instance, taking high doses of vitamin D3 without enough K2 may result in calcium being deposited in arteries, which increases the risk of arterial stiffness and cardiovascular disease. Studies have shown that K2, specifically in the form of MK7, helps activate proteins that prevent calcium from entering soft tissues, making it a vital companion to vitamin D3. Meanwhile, magnesium deficiency, which is common in modern diets, can impair vitamin D3 metabolism, leaving it inactive and unable to properly regulate calcium. This is why simply taking D3 alone, even at recommended doses, may not provide the expected benefits and could potentially cause harm if the balance with K2 and magnesium is ignored. The body is very sensitive to this balance, and long-term supplementation can either reinforce or disrupt it. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, meaning it is stored in your body for extended periods. If levels become too high, calcium can accumulate in the blood, kidneys, and other tissues. K2 is fat-soluble as well, but its role is protective, ensuring calcium reaches bones instead of soft tissue. Magnesium is water-soluble, and while excess amounts are usually excreted, extremely high doses, especially in people with kidney issues, can lead to dangerous heart rhythm disturbances and low blood pressure. Understanding these dynamics is critical because long-term use of supplements without monitoring can quietly push these balances out of range. Individual factors greatly affect how these nutrients interact. Age, diet, kidney function, and medications all play a role. Older adults often require higher vitamin D3 levels due to reduced skin synthesis from sunlight, but they also may have declining kidney function, which can increase calcium accumulation. People taking blood thinners, such as warfarin, must be cautious with vitamin K2 as it can interfere with medication and clotting pathways. Diet also matters. Someone consuming a calcium-rich diet may need less D3 than someone who eats little dairy or fortified foods. Magnesium intake can vary widely depending on the consumption of nuts, seeds, leafy greens, and whole grains. Without considering these factors, supplementation can be imbalanced, even if doses seem moderate. The timing and method of intake also influence how effectively these nutrients work together. Research suggests that taking D3 with meals containing healthy fats enhances absorption, while K2 is best absorbed with dietary fats as well. Magnesium is absorbed more efficiently when divided into smaller doses throughout the day rather than all at once. Some studies even indicate that taking D3 and K2 together in the right ratio maximizes the benefits for bone health and calcium regulation. These details may seem small, but over years of long-term supplementation, they can significantly impact how safe and effective these nutrients are for your body. Even with perfect timing and correct doses, long-term use requires monitoring. Blood tests can measure vitamin D levels, serum calcium, magnesium, and kidney function, providing a clear picture of whether supplementation is safe or needs adjustment. Research consistently emphasizes that proactive monitoring is the safest way to avoid complications like calcium buildup, magnesium overdose, or ineffective vitamin D3 metabolism. Subtle symptoms like fatigue, muscle cramps, or mild digestive disturbances may indicate that your balance is off long before serious health issues develop. In conclusion, the synergy of D3, K2, and magnesium is what makes them effective, but it is also what makes them potentially dangerous if mismanaged. The combination can strengthen bones, support cardiovascular health, and improve overall metabolic function, but only when dosages, timing, and individual factors are carefully considered. This is why understanding how these nutrients work together, rather than focusing on one in isolation, is essential for long-term health and safety. Paying attention to ratios, monitoring blood levels, and considering personal health conditions are the keys to benefiting from these supplements while avoiding hidden risks. Knowing the right dosage of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium is essential for both safety and effectiveness. Taking too little may not give the benefits you're looking for, while taking too much can quietly create serious health problems over time. Research has provided clear guidance on what is considered safe and effective for most adults, although individual needs can vary based on age, diet, medical conditions, and lifestyle. Understanding these ranges is the foundation for long-term supplementation without risking harm. Vitamin D3, being fat-soluble, requires careful attention because excess amounts are stored in the body. Most research suggests that a daily intake of 600 to 2000 IU is sufficient for adults who are not deficient, while some experts consider up to 4,000 IU per day as the upper safe limit for long-term use. It is important to note that exceeding this limit without medical supervision can lead to elevated calcium levels in the blood, a condition known as hypercalcemia. Symptoms of this can include fatigue, nausea, kidney stones, and in severe cases, kidney damage. Blood testing is the most reliable way to determine your exact requirement because factors like sunlight exposure, skin pigmentation, and body weight significantly influence your vitamin D3 needs. Vitamin K2 is typically taken in much smaller doses, but it is no less important. Research has consistently shown that a daily intake of 90 to 200 micrograms is safe for most adults. K2 is fat-soluble as well, and it plays a critical role in directing calcium into bones and preventing arterial calcification. Unlike vitamin D3, K2 toxicity is rare, even at higher doses. But people on anticoagulant medications need to consult a healthcare professional before supplementing, as K2 can influence blood clotting pathways. Maintaining adequate K2 levels is particularly important if you are taking vitamin D3 daily, as an imbalance between these two nutrients can cause calcium to deposit in soft tissues rather than bones. Magnesium is unique because it is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions and affects the way your body processes both D3 and K2. The recommended daily allowance for adult men is 400 to 420 milligrams, and for adult women, it is 310 to 320 milligrams. Magnesium is water-soluble, which means excess amounts are generally excreted by the kidneys. However, extremely high doses, especially in individuals with impaired kidney function, can lead to serious problems such as low blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and even cardiac arrest in rare cases. Many people do not get enough magnesium from their diet, so supplementation can be beneficial, but it must be balanced with D3 and K2 to maximize absorption and prevent issues. It is also essential to consider the form of supplementation. Vitamin D3 is most effective when paired with a healthy fat source, as it is fat-soluble. K2 is usually taken as MK7, a form that stays in the body longer and works efficiently to activate calcium-regulating proteins. Magnesium comes in various forms, such as citrate, glycinate, or oxide, and absorption rates differ between them. Choosing high-quality forms ensures that your body actually uses the nutrients rather than excreting them unused, which is particularly important for long-term supplementation. The ratios between these nutrients are just as important as the absolute doses. Studies indicate that an imbalance, such as high D3 with low K2, can increase the risk of arterial calcification. Similarly, insufficient magnesium can impair the activation of D3, rendering even a proper D3 dose less effective. Some experts suggest that for every 1,000 IU of vitamin D3, you should aim for at least 100 micrograms of K2 and ensure adequate magnesium intake, although exact requirements vary based on individual factors. Monitoring your blood levels remains the most reliable way to fine-tune these ratios over time. Consistency also matters. Supplements work gradually, and their effects accumulate over weeks and months. Sudden large doses may seem beneficial, but can overwhelm your system and create imbalances. Research emphasizes gradual, consistent supplementation combined with monitoring to maintain optimal levels and reduce risks. Diet and lifestyle are part of this equation as well. Regular exposure to sunlight helps maintain vitamin D3 levels. Green leafy vegetables provide K2, and nuts, seeds, and whole grains support magnesium intake. Combining supplements with natural sources ensures a safer, more balanced approach. By following these dosage guidelines and paying attention to personal factors like age, kidney function, medications, and dietary intake, long-term supplementation with D3, K2, and magnesium can be both safe and highly effective. The key is understanding your individual needs and monitoring your body regularly to prevent subtle issues before they develop into major problems. Proper dosing, balanced ratios, and ongoing attention transform these supplements from a potential risk into powerful tools for health. Long-term supplementation of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium can offer significant health benefits when used correctly. These nutrients are not just supportive, they actively help your body maintain proper function across multiple systems. One of the most well-documented advantages is bone health. Vitamin D3 ensures that your body absorbs calcium efficiently, K2 directs that calcium to bones, and magnesium supports both bone density and the activation of vitamin D3. Studies consistently show that people who maintain adequate levels of these nutrients have stronger bones, lower risk of fractures, and better overall skeletal health. In fact, research indicates that long-term supplementation can help prevent osteoporosis, particularly in older adults, by ensuring that calcium is properly deposited in bone tissue rather than soft tissue. Heart health is another area where these nutrients show measurable benefits. While high calcium in the blood can lead to arterial stiffness and cardiovascular problems, K2 specifically works to prevent calcium from accumulating in arteries. Vitamin D3 has also been linked to cardiovascular support through its role in regulating blood pressure and inflammation. Magnesium contributes by maintaining a healthy heartbeat, relaxing blood vessels, and supporting nerve function that controls cardiovascular rhythm. Studies have found that individuals with balanced levels of D3, K2, and magnesium tend to have lower risks of hypertension, arterial calcification, and related heart conditions. This demonstrates the importance of not only taking these supplements, but taking them in the correct proportions to maximize protective effects. Muscle function and nerve health are also positively influenced by long-term supplementation. Magnesium plays a central role in muscle contraction and relaxation, which affects everything from exercise performance to preventing cramps and spasms. Adequate D3 levels support overall energy and immune function, reducing fatigue that can come from deficiency. K2 indirectly contributes by supporting bone health, which is essential for proper muscle attachment and function. Athletes, older adults, and anyone who experiences frequent muscle fatigue or weakness can benefit from ensuring these nutrients are in balance over time. Another important benefit is immune system support. Vitamin D3 has been shown to regulate both innate and adaptive immune responses. Long-term deficiency is linked to increased susceptibility to infections and even autoimmune disorders. Supplementing with D3 within safe ranges, especially when paired with magnesium, which aids its activation, can help strengthen immune defense. It may not directly affect immunity, but its calcium-regulating role ensures that other bodily systems function optimally, indirectly supporting overall health and resistance to disease. Mood regulation and cognitive health are additional areas where these nutrients contribute over time. Research shows that adequate vitamin D3 levels are associated with lower rates of depression, better cognitive performance, and reduced risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Magnesium has calming effects on the nervous system and is involved in neurotransmitter regulation, which can improve sleep and reduce anxiety. K2's role in calcium management may indirectly support brain health by preventing calcium deposits in blood vessels that could affect cerebral circulation. Combined, these three nutrients help maintain not only physical but also mental and emotional well-being over the long term. It is important to note that the benefits of long-term use depend on proper balance and monitoring. Taking these supplements without considering your blood levels, dietary intake, or individual health factors may reduce their effectiveness or, in rare cases, lead to complications. Research emphasizes that people who manage their supplementation carefully experience these benefits consistently, whereas unmonitored use can allow deficiencies or imbalances to persist despite supplementation. Diet and lifestyle can enhance these long-term benefits even further. Exposure to sunlight helps maintain vitamin D3 naturally, while fermented foods and certain green vegetables supply K2. Nuts, seeds, and whole grains provide magnesium. Combining supplementation with natural sources ensures the body receives nutrients in the most balanced and bioavailable form, supporting optimal health outcomes over the years. Ultimately, when D3, K2, and magnesium are taken at appropriate doses, monitored regularly, and paired with a nutrient-rich diet, the benefits are comprehensive. Bone strength improves. Cardiovascular risks decrease. Muscles and nerves function efficiently, immunity is supported, and mental health benefits emerge. Long-term supplementation becomes not just a preventive measure, but a way to maintain high overall health and vitality throughout life. Proper use transforms these nutrients into powerful tools for longevity, energy, and resilience. While long-term supplementation of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium offers significant benefits, it is crucial to understand the risks of overuse. Taking these nutrients in excessive amounts or without proper balance can slowly create serious health issues over time, even if symptoms appear mild at first. Each nutrient has its own potential dangers, and their interactions can amplify these effects if not monitored carefully. Understanding these risks is essential to using them safely. Vitamin D3 toxicity is one of the most well-documented risks of overuse. Because D3 is fat-soluble, it accumulates in the body, and consistently taking high doses can raise calcium levels in the blood, a condition known as hypercalcemia. Symptoms may start subtly with fatigue, nausea, loss of appetite, or headaches. Over time, elevated calcium can damage the kidneys, lead to kidney stones, and increase the risk of cardiovascular problems. Research shows that long-term intakes exceeding 10,000 IU per day can be dangerous without medical supervision. Even doses within the high normal range can cause complications in sensitive individuals, especially if K2 and magnesium levels are insufficient to maintain calcium balance. Excess vitamin K2, while less common, can pose risks in certain situations. K2 is generally considered safe even at higher doses because toxicity is rare. However, individuals taking anticoagulant medications such as warfarin must exercise caution. K2 activates proteins involved in blood clotting, which can interfere with medication and alter coagulation levels. Without medical oversight, this interaction can increase the risk of uncontrolled bleeding or clotting issues. Oversupplementation without monitoring may not show immediate symptoms, making it a hidden risk for long-term users. Magnesium overdose is another concern, particularly for those with compromised kidney function. While the body typically excretes excess magnesium through urine, very high doses, especially in the form of supplements, can cause diarrhea, nausea, low blood pressure, and irregular heart rhythms. In extreme cases, hypermagnesemia can be life-threatening. Studies indicate that doses above 600 to 700 milligrams per day may cause these adverse effects in sensitive individuals. Magnesium interacts with D3 and K2 as well. Insufficient magnesium can impair the activation of D3, potentially reducing its effectiveness and indirectly contributing to calcium imbalances. The combined use of these supplements without proper balance can also create hidden dangers. For example, high doses of D3 without sufficient K2 may increase the risk of calcium deposits in arteries and soft tissues. Excessive D3 and K2 together without adequate magnesium may overstimulate calcium absorption while failing to properly regulate its distribution. These imbalances often develop silently over years, making regular monitoring essential for anyone taking these nutrients long term. Blood tests measuring calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium levels can detect imbalances before they progress to serious complications. Symptoms of long-term overuse can be subtle, which is why many people overlook them. Fatigue, mild digestive disturbances, muscle cramps, or irregular heartbeat may seem unrelated to supplementation, but they can be early warning signs of nutrient imbalance. Research highlights that early detection is key to preventing severe consequences. Adjusting dosages, ensuring proper nutrient ratios, and maintaining a balanced diet can correct these issues before they escalate. Individual factors also affect risk levels. Older adults, people with kidney or liver disease, and those on medications that influence calcium, blood pressure, or clotting pathways are more vulnerable to complications. Lifestyle and diet play a role too. Excessive calcium intake from fortified foods combined with high-dose D3 supplementation increases the likelihood of hypercalcemia if K2 and magnesium are insufficient. Similarly, low dietary intake of magnesium can exacerbate the risks associated with long-term D3 use. It is important to remember that these risks do not mean supplementation should be avoided. They highlight the need for careful planning, proper dosing, and ongoing monitoring. Long-term supplementation is safe for the vast majority of people when dosages are tailored to individual needs and blood levels are periodically checked. The goal is to benefit from the protective and supportive effects of D3, K2, and magnesium without unknowingly creating problems over time. Understanding the risks of overuse emphasizes the importance of informed supplementation. Safe long-term use requires knowledge of your body, attention to nutrient interactions, and regular lab testing. Supplements are powerful tools, but like all tools, they must be used correctly. Overuse or imbalance is the most common source of harm, not the supplements themselves. By respecting proper dosages, maintaining balance, and monitoring your health, the benefits of D3, K2, and magnesium can be fully realized while minimizing the potential dangers. Recognizing the symptoms of imbalance or toxicity is essential for anyone taking vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium long term. While these supplements are generally safe when used properly, subtle signs can appear before serious health issues develop, allowing you to take corrective action early. Paying attention to these warning signals ensures you maintain the benefits of supplementation without putting your body at risk. One of the most common indicators of vitamin D3 imbalance is fatigue. When vitamin D levels are too low, you may feel unusually tired, weak, or lethargic. However, high levels can also cause fatigue, often accompanied by nausea, loss of appetite, or frequent urination. Excess D3 leads to elevated calcium in the blood, which places stress on the kidneys and can result in kidney stones or even damage over time. Muscle weakness or bone pain can also emerge, signaling that calcium is not being properly utilized. Blood tests measuring serum 25-hydroxy-vitamin D and calcium levels are the most reliable way to confirm whether your supplementation is within a safe range. Vitamin K2 imbalances are less obvious but equally important to recognize. Since K2 directs calcium into bones and away from soft tissues, inadequate levels may not produce immediate symptoms. Over time, insufficient K2 can allow calcium to deposit in arteries, leading to arterial stiffness and increasing the risk of cardiovascular problems. People on blood-thinning medications need to monitor K2 intake closely, as it can interfere with coagulation. Signs such as easy bruising, bleeding, or slow clotting may indicate a mismatch between K2 levels and medication requiring professional adjustment. Magnesium has more immediate and recognizable warning signs when taken in excess or when deficiency exists. Low magnesium can manifest as muscle cramps, tremors, fatigue, irritability, and even irregular heartbeat in severe cases. High doses of magnesium, particularly in supplement form, can cause diarrhea, nausea, and low blood pressure. For individuals with kidney issues, excess magnesium can accumulate in the body, creating dangerous heart rhythm disturbances. These symptoms often appear subtly, making routine monitoring essential for long-term users. Some signs may indicate an interaction issue rather than a problem with a single nutrient. For example, taking high doses of vitamin D3 without sufficient K2 can result in calcium deposits in soft tissues, which may initially show no symptoms. Over time, this can contribute to arterial stiffness, increased blood pressure, and heart-related complications. Subtle indicators may include mild chest discomfort, fatigue during physical activity, or occasional muscle weakness. Similarly, insufficient magnesium can reduce the effectiveness of D3, making you feel persistently tired or low on energy despite supplementation. Digestive disturbances can also serve as early warnings. Nausea, diarrhea, or constipation may indicate excessive magnesium or an imbalance between these nutrients. While occasional digestive issues can happen for various reasons, persistent symptoms combined with supplementation should prompt evaluation. Blood tests and consultation with a healthcare professional can determine whether adjustments are necessary. It's important to remember that individual factors influence how these symptoms appear. Age, kidney function, medications, and dietary intake all play a role in how your body reacts to supplementation. Older adults may experience fatigue or muscle weakness earlier if calcium, D3, or magnesium are imbalanced, while people taking certain medications may see subtle clotting or cardiovascular signs first. Lifestyle factors, including exercise, diet, and sun exposure, also affect how your body processes these nutrients. Being aware of changes in your body and linking them to supplementation habits is a crucial step in preventing long-term complications. Monitoring is key to early detection. Blood tests measuring vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and kidney function provide objective data to confirm whether your supplementation is safe. Regular testing, ideally every 6 months or as advised by a healthcare professional, can catch subtle imbalances before they manifest as more serious issues. Paying attention to symptoms like fatigue, digestive disturbances, muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat, or unexplained weakness gives you the ability to adjust dosages and maintain optimal balance. Being proactive about these warning signs ensures that long-term use of D3, K2, and magnesium remains beneficial rather than harmful. By recognizing symptoms early, maintaining proper blood levels, and adjusting supplementation according to individual needs, you can enjoy the full range of health benefits these nutrients provide, including strong bones, cardiovascular protection, healthy muscles, and optimal immune function. Awareness, monitoring, and proper adjustment transform supplementation from a potential risk into a safe and effective tool for long-term health. The safety of long-term supplementation with vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium is not the same for everyone. Several personal factors influence how these nutrients are absorbed, metabolized, and utilized by the body, and overlooking them can turn a generally safe supplement routine into a potential risk. Understanding these factors is critical for anyone looking to take these nutrients consistently over months or years. Age is one of the most significant factors affecting safety. As people get older, their skin produces less vitamin D3 from sunlight, which often increases the need for supplementation. At the same time, kidney function may decline with age, reducing the ability to excrete excess minerals like magnesium and regulate calcium balance. Older adults are also more prone to cardiovascular issues, making the balance between D3 and K2 particularly important to prevent calcium deposits in arteries. This combination of factors means that dosing needs to be carefully adjusted to maintain effectiveness while avoiding complications. Kidney function is another critical consideration. Both vitamin D3 and magnesium rely on the kidneys for proper metabolism and excretion. If kidney function is impaired, excess D3 can lead to elevated calcium levels, and excess magnesium can accumulate to dangerous levels, potentially causing heart rhythm problems and low blood pressure. Regular kidney function tests can help ensure that supplementation remains within safe limits, particularly for older adults or those with pre-existing kidney conditions. Medications can also significantly influence the safety of long-term supplementation. Blood thinners, such as warfarin, interact with vitamin K2 because it affects the clotting pathway. Ignoring this interaction can lead to uncontrolled bleeding or clotting issues. Certain diuretics or medications for heart disease can alter how magnesium is excreted, increasing the risk of deficiency or excess. Even supplements for calcium or other vitamins can influence absorption and utilization of D3, K2, and magnesium. Anyone taking prescription medications should consult a healthcare professional before starting long-term supplementation to avoid dangerous interactions. Pre-existing health conditions play a major role in how these nutrients affect the body. Individuals with heart disease need to be particularly cautious with the D3 and K2 balance, as excessive D3 without sufficient K2 can promote calcium buildup in arteries. Those with liver issues may process these nutrients differently, affecting blood levels and increasing the risk of toxicity. Individuals with gastrointestinal disorders may have reduced absorption of magnesium or fat-soluble vitamins, which can make supplementation both necessary and challenging. Monitoring and adjusting doses based on health conditions is essential to ensure safety and effectiveness. Dietary intake is another factor that affects supplementation safety. People who consume diets high in fortified foods, dairy, or calcium-rich vegetables may require less vitamin D3 than someone with a limited diet. Similarly, leafy greens and fermented foods naturally provide K2, while nuts, seeds, and whole grains contribute magnesium. Ignoring dietary sources can result in oversupplementation, even if doses are considered moderate. Taking supplements in addition to a nutrient-rich diet without adjusting for intake increases the risk of calcium imbalance or magnesium overload. Lifestyle factors also influence how these supplements work. Sun exposure affects natural vitamin D3 production, so someone who spends a lot of time indoors may need more D3 supplementation than someone with regular outdoor activity. Physical activity affects muscle and bone health, which interacts with how calcium, magnesium, and vitamins D3 and K2 are utilized. Sleep, stress, and hydration can indirectly influence nutrient metabolism, making monitoring and personal adjustment important. Finally, genetics and individual metabolism play subtle but important roles. Some people have variations in genes that affect vitamin D receptor activity, calcium transport proteins, or magnesium absorption. These differences can make standard dosage recommendations either insufficient or excessive. Personalized supplementation based on blood tests and genetic considerations can optimize safety and effectiveness, ensuring long-term benefits without hidden risks. Overall, the safety of long-term supplementation with vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium is highly individual. Age, kidney function, medications, pre-existing health conditions, diet, lifestyle, and genetics all influence how these nutrients interact in the body. Understanding these factors allows you to use supplements effectively while minimizing risk. Monitoring blood levels, adjusting doses, and maintaining balance between these nutrients are the keys to safe, long-term use. Paying attention to your unique circumstances ensures that supplementation supports your health instead of silently creating problems. Scientific research provides strong evidence regarding the long-term safety and effectiveness of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium when used correctly. Numerous studies have examined how these nutrients affect bone health, cardiovascular function, muscle performance, and overall metabolic balance, confirming that proper supplementation offers measurable benefits while highlighting the risks of excessive or unbalanced intake. Understanding this evidence can guide safe and effective long-term use. A large body of research supports the role of vitamin D3 in bone health and calcium regulation. Studies consistently show that maintaining adequate vitamin D3 levels improves calcium absorption in the intestines and reduces the risk of fractures, particularly in older adults. Long-term trials indicate that supplementation within recommended ranges, typically 600 to 2,000 IU per day, helps maintain bone density and prevent osteoporosis. However, research also confirms that excessive D3 intake can cause hypercalcemia, kidney stones, and other complications, particularly when not balanced with K2 and magnesium. This reinforces the importance of correct dosing and monitoring over time. Vitamin K2 has been studied extensively for its role in directing calcium to bones and preventing soft tissue calcification. Clinical studies demonstrate that K2 supplementation, especially in the form of MK7, activates proteins such as osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein, which guide calcium to the skeleton and prevent arterial buildup. Long-term observational studies show that populations with higher K2 intake have stronger bones and lower rates of cardiovascular calcification. This evidence highlights the critical synergy between D3 and K2. While D3 increases calcium absorption, K2 ensures that calcium is deposited safely in bones rather than arteries, preventing long-term health risks. Magnesium has also been widely researched for its involvement in hundreds of enzymatic processes, including the activation of vitamin D3. Studies indicate that adequate magnesium intake enhances D3 metabolism, supports muscle function, regulates blood pressure, and contributes to cardiovascular health. Long-term research shows that individuals with sufficient magnesium levels have lower risks of heart disease, better energy metabolism, and improved neurological function. Conversely, insufficient magnesium can impair D3 activation, reduce calcium utilization, and contribute to fatigue, muscle cramps, or irregular heartbeat. These findings reinforce that magnesium is not just supportive, but essential for the proper functioning of D3 and K2 supplementation. Research also emphasizes the importance of proper nutrient ratios. Studies demonstrate that high D3 intake without adequate K2 may increase arterial calcium deposits, even if bone density improves. Similarly, insufficient magnesium can reduce the effectiveness of D3 and contribute to mineral imbalances. Clinical trials confirm that supplementation with D3, K2, and magnesium together in balanced amounts produces optimal results for bone strength, cardiovascular protection, and metabolic health. This scientific evidence highlights the need for a coordinated supplementation strategy rather than focusing on individual nutrients in isolation. Long-term observational studies provide additional insight. Populations with consistently adequate intake of these nutrients, whether from diet or supplementation, show significantly lower rates of fractures, osteoporosis, cardiovascular calcification, and metabolic dysfunction. Studies tracking people over 10 years or more indicate that the benefits of D3, K2, and magnesium accumulate over time, supporting bone density, cardiovascular health, and muscle function throughout life. At the same time, research underscores that regular monitoring of blood levels is necessary to avoid subtle toxicity or imbalance, even when dosages are within typical ranges. Research also explores the safety of these nutrients in various populations. Older adults, postmenopausal women, and individuals with limited sun exposure benefit significantly from supplementation, particularly when blood levels are monitored. Studies confirm that supplementation is generally safe for healthy adults when dosages are tailored to individual needs, dietary intake, and medical conditions. Those with kidney issues, cardiovascular concerns, or taking medications that affect calcium or blood clotting require closer supervision, as studies show that imbalances can occur more readily in these groups. In summary, research consistently supports the effectiveness of D3, K2, and magnesium when used responsibly. The evidence shows clear benefits for bone health, cardiovascular function, muscle performance, and overall metabolic balance. At the same time, studies confirm that excessive intake or imbalanced use can create serious long-term risks. Scientific evidence reinforces the need for correct dosing, balanced ratios, monitoring of blood levels, and consideration of individual factors to maximize safety and benefit. Safe long-term use of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium depends on a combination of proper dosing, monitoring, and attention to personal factors. While these nutrients offer remarkable benefits, maintaining balance and avoiding excessive intake is the key to maximizing advantages without introducing hidden risks. Following practical, research-backed strategies can help anyone take these supplements safely over years. The first step is establishing appropriate dosages for your individual needs. For vitamin D3, most adults benefit from 600 to 2000 IU per day, though some individuals may require up to 4000 IU based on blood tests, sunlight exposure, and body weight. K2, particularly in the form of MK7, is typically taken at 90 to 200 micrograms per day, which has been shown in clinical studies to activate calcium-regulating proteins without causing toxicity in most adults. Magnesium is generally recommended at 310 to 420 milligrams per day, depending on age, sex, and dietary intake. Choosing high-quality supplements in these ranges ensures that your body receives effective doses without overloading any system. Monitoring blood levels is essential for safe, long-term supplementation. Vitamin D3 levels are measured through serum 25-hydroxy vitamin D, which reflects overall status. Calcium levels, kidney function, and magnesium serum concentrations provide additional data to ensure balance. Studies consistently show that regular testing, ideally every 6 months, or as advised by a healthcare professional, reduces the risk of toxicity or imbalance. Testing is particularly important for older adults, individuals with kidney or liver conditions, and people taking medications that affect calcium or blood clotting. Monitoring allows adjustments to dosage and ensures that supplementation remains safe over time. Timing and method of intake also influence effectiveness and safety. Vitamin D3 and K2 are fat-soluble, meaning they are best absorbed when taken with meals containing healthy fats. Magnesium is absorbed more efficiently when divided into smaller doses throughout the day, rather than in a single large dose. Research shows that combining these nutrients appropriately enhances their synergy. D3 increases calcium absorption, K2 guides calcium to bones, and magnesium activates D3, allowing the body to use it efficiently. Attention to timing and combination helps prevent imbalances that can develop slowly with long-term use. Dietary sources remain an important complement to supplementation. Sunlight exposure naturally produces vitamin D3, while fermented foods, certain cheeses, and leafy greens provide K2. Seeds, legumes, and whole grains supply magnesium. Combining supplements with nutrient-rich foods ensures that your body receives these compounds in a bioavailable and balanced form. Studies indicate that relying solely on supplements without considering diet can increase the risk of imbalances, whereas a combined approach provides the most consistent and safe benefits. Individual factors should always guide your supplementation strategy. Age, kidney function, medication use, and pre-existing health conditions influence how your body metabolizes and stores these nutrients. Older adults may require slightly higher D3 intake, but need careful monitoring to prevent calcium buildup. People on blood-thinning medications must track K2 intake to avoid clotting issues. Those with gastrointestinal disorders may need magnesium in more absorbable forms, such as glycinate or citrate. Personalizing your approach based on these factors is strongly supported by research as the safest and most effective method for long-term supplementation. Consistency is another critical factor. Benefits from D3, K2, and magnesium accumulate gradually, often over months or years. Sudden high doses may seem helpful, but they can overwhelm the system and create imbalances. Studies emphasize the importance of steady, consistent intake within safe ranges, combined with monitoring and dietary adjustments. Long-term supplementation is most effective when it mimics natural nutrient intake and maintains balance rather than relying on occasional large doses. Finally, paying attention to your body is a valuable safety measure. Symptoms such as fatigue, muscle cramps, digestive disturbances, irregular heartbeat, or mild bone pain may indicate subtle imbalances. Early recognition of these signals, combined with blood testing and professional guidance, allows for corrective action before serious complications develop. Being proactive in observing your health, adjusting dosage, and maintaining balance ensures that supplementation supports long-term health safely. By following these practical tips, appropriate dosing, regular monitoring, attention to timing, dietary support, personalization based on individual factors, consistent use, and listening to your body, you can safely enjoy the many benefits of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium. This approach transforms supplementation from a potential risk into a reliable strategy for bone health, cardiovascular protection, muscle function, and overall metabolic balance. Long-term supplementation becomes not just safe, but a powerful tool to maintain optimal health throughout life. After exploring the mechanisms, benefits, risks, and safety strategies for long-term use of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium, it becomes clear that these nutrients are powerful allies when used correctly. Their combined action supports bone health, cardiovascular function, muscle performance, immune response, and even mental well-being. Understanding how they interact, how much to take, and how to monitor their effects transforms supplementation from a simple routine into a strategic approach to long-term health. One of the most important takeaways is the synergy between these nutrients. Vitamin D3 ensures that calcium is absorbed efficiently in the intestines, but without K2, that calcium can deposit in arteries and soft tissues instead of bones. Magnesium activates vitamin D3, ensuring it can perform its regulatory functions effectively. When all three nutrients are balanced, calcium is absorbed, directed to bones, and metabolized safely. Research consistently demonstrates that this combination is more effective than taking any one of these nutrients alone. Equally important is the principle of dosage and monitoring. Safe long-term supplementation depends on using recommended ranges tailored to individual needs. For most adults, vitamin D3 between 600 and 2000 IU per day, K2 between 90 and 200 micrograms, and magnesium between 310 and 420 milligrams provide effective support without causing harm. These ranges are validated by numerous studies and clinical trials. However, individual factors such as age, kidney function, diet, sun exposure, medications, and pre-existing conditions may necessitate adjustments. Regular blood tests and professional guidance are critical to ensure that supplementation remains both effective and safe over the years. Long-term use also requires awareness of early warning signs. Fatigue, muscle cramps, digestive disturbances, irregular heartbeat, or subtle bone or joint discomfort may indicate an imbalance. Recognizing these signals early allows for corrective action, preventing serious complications such as kidney stones, arterial calcification, or hypermagnesemia. Research emphasizes that most complications from supplementation arise not from the nutrients themselves, but from improper dosing or imbalance, highlighting the importance of vigilance and monitoring. Consistency and timing are additional factors that influence long-term effectiveness. Vitamin D3 and K2 are best absorbed with dietary fats, while magnesium is more effective when split into smaller doses. Steady, consistent supplementation within safe ranges produces gradual and cumulative benefits for bone density, cardiovascular health, and metabolic function. Sudden high doses, even if seemingly safe, can overwhelm the body and create subtle imbalances that develop over months or years. Combining supplementation with a nutrient-rich diet enhances absorption and reduces the risk of overuse or deficiency. Scientific evidence reinforces these strategies. Long-term observational studies show that populations maintaining balanced D3, K2, and magnesium levels have stronger bones, lower rates of cardiovascular calcification, healthier muscles, and better metabolic function. Clinical trials confirm that these nutrients support immunity, mental health, and overall vitality when used responsibly. At the same time, studies emphasize the importance of personalized approaches, showing that factors such as genetics, lifestyle, and medications can influence how the body responds to supplementation. Personalized adjustments, combined with monitoring, ensure maximum benefit without hidden risk. Another key point is that supplementation is most effective when integrated with lifestyle factors. Sunlight exposure, a balanced diet, regular physical activity, proper hydration, and adequate sleep all enhance the effectiveness of D3, K2, and magnesium. Supplements are not a substitute for a healthy lifestyle. They are a tool that optimizes natural processes. Combining these elements allows the body to use nutrients efficiently, maintain proper calcium balance, and reduce the risk of age-related health problems. In summary, long-term supplementation of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium offers profound health benefits when approached carefully. Maintaining balance, monitoring blood levels, adjusting dosages according to individual needs, recognizing early symptoms, and combining supplementation with a healthy lifestyle ensures that these nutrients support bone strength, cardiovascular health, muscle function, immunity, and overall well-being. When used strategically, these supplements are not just safe, but a cornerstone of long-term health maintenance. After examining the science, benefits, risks, and safety strategies for long-term use of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium, the final recommendations focus on maximizing benefits while minimizing potential harm.